Hello, my name is Mark O'Neill and I'm here to demo my CS455 final project. As you can see here on the window, we have a spaceship in space which I can control using my Logitech controller here. I can go any direction I wish to, and I can do all of this with a third-person view, which was not as easy as it may sound. I didn't just translate the camera backward, I also had to create the illusion of motion, so I actually let the ship move a little faster and rotate a little faster than the camera can. However, the camera actually can catch up under certain circumstances, such as just moving straight. If I go up, for example, you'll see that the camera isn't quite locked onto me, but if I just stop looking but move the camera only, or rather move forward, then it will lock on, and I can do this from any angle. It will always end up right behind me as when I started, but it doesn't always stay there, giving us the nice illusion of movement here, although I am moving in 3 space as well. Since space is infinite, I had to give some way of letting the ship look as if it was in an infinite universe, and with that in mind, I designed this skybox, which you're looking at, which is the background, to always be centered around the player. So as I move, the background is actually moving with me, so there's no way I can ever get outside this cube in which I'm placed. Now the inside faces of those cubes, or rather that cube, are actually textured with a 360-degree image. I originally had used some Google space images, but those didn't look too hot, so I went ahead and found this one online, and it seems to fit my purposes pretty well. As you can see, there's nebulas here and there, and I actually set a lighting source next to this nebula here, and as I move away from it, you can see my shadow goes away, and if I move the other way, then it's there again. In my game, the purpose, of course, is to eliminate enemy opponents who are similar spacecraft, and in order to do this well, I had to simulate some type of explosion. So to do this, I actually created a particle system after reading a bunch of tutorials that gave a fairly good, or at least good-looking visualization for an explosion. I have in front of me right now an enemy spaceship who has his AI disabled, so he's just sitting there for the time being. I'm going to go ahead and show a few things. One, I'm going to show my collision detection, which is actually 100% accurate, and it's also 100% designed by me. I didn't use any tutorials or use any other libraries. So I'll go ahead and show how if I'm not near him, nothing's going to happen, but the moment I get to him, he explodes, and if you saw that, it was a nice little explosion with a little bit of a particle system with fragments flying at least everywhere where the camera could see. Now I have him respond, and we can see that again. You see the nice little explosion, and he'll respawn again. Now if you notice, my engine actually exhibits a similar particle effect. If I go forward, you can see the particles flying out of the backside of my ship, and as I slow down, you can see them slow down as well until they finally stop when I'm stopped. Now they'll also follow the direction of my ship, or at least they'll trail in the direction where I was previously, giving a further illusion of movement in my 3D world. You'll notice also that I have sound in my game, and now the background music is pretty obvious, but mixing that sound with some sound effects from the game was actually not as easy as I thought it would be, and required the use of a library. That's actually the only library besides OpenGL that I used for this whole project. I did everything else completely by hand after reading a bunch of tutorials. So if I fire a laser, you can hear that sound, and if you'll also notice very faintly, you'll hear my engine sound as I stop and go again. The engine sound repeats as long as I'm going, but then pauses when I've stopped. I have now enabled the movement of my AI, but disabled his ability to shoot me, and I'm going to show now how he will follow me no matter where I am at any given point. Now I do this using some techniques I learned in CS470 this semester, one of which is called potential fields, and I just implemented them in 3D instead of 2D as we had to do in our class. And then I also implemented a PD controller, which is a proportional derivative controller, which allows him to have a little bit more realistic and smooth movement. And I also did a lot of trigonometry to make sure that he's always moving in the direction he's faced, which was actually quite difficult, at least for me. I'm now going to show some dogfighting with the full AI enabled. Now each ship has a certain number of hit points, and I'm going to try to evade this guy as much as I can, but then again, he is quite good, as you just saw. He can eliminate me pretty easily. We're going to go ahead and use our respawn ability here to fly where we think we're going to do best and respawn our ship, and then the AI is going to start over again trying to kill us, and he just did. Let's try that a few more times and see if we can finally get a kill on him. Oh, looks like we got the drop on him that time, and he should be respawning any moment now and coming at us. Oh, and there he is. Let's go ahead and see if we can get him, or at least outsmart him to some degree before he hits us. There we go, we got him again. That's a demonstration of my dogfighting abilities. In my game, I actually allow for multiple enemy ships, but of course, the more you add, the harder it is to actually play. They are both quite skilled at aiming, and I'm not so much. But as you can see, I got one of them there, but the other one got me. Now, both of us are going to respawn, but one of us is going to be a little bit away from the other. Now, both of them have respawned here. Now, the object of the game is actually to see how many ships you can kill before you get killed, and every time you get killed, your kill counter gets reset. Now, that time I didn't do too well, but my maximum is about 5 ships, and I can't quite seem to do better than that. And that concludes my game video, so thank you for watching.